Oh, hello. Good evening. Welcome to another Tabletop Impulse video. We're going to be talking about the Kill Team Shadow Vaults article that came up much earlier today, on Warhammer Community, and a few other things about the pre-order, which, if you're watching this when it goes up, should be coming up live in the UK in a few hours. So, there was this article today that revealed a little bit about the rules for both teams. We're going to start with the Kasrkin. So they've previewed one special rule for the Kasrkin. The Kasrkin have a rule called Elite. Kasrkin are highly disciplined, physically and mentally robust, and extremely well trained. Experts in a wide variety of war gear, they can march for long distances, carrying heavy equipment, and arrive at their destination ready to fight with furious determination. Okay, that's quite bland as fluff text goes. I don't really know why I read the fluff text. Some people might like it. You start the battle with a pool of 10 elite points. Each time a friendly Kasrkin operative fights in combat or makes a shooting attack, in the roll attack dice step of that combat or shooting attack, you can spend one or more of your elite points to adjust one, and only one, of your dice. For each point you spend, add 1 to the dice result and reduce the number of elite points in your pool by 1. It's like baby faith points, right? Because you're getting that thing sisters have. You're being able to modify the dice results, not as often. Well, let's read the next bit. So your sergeant has leadership. In each strategy phase, you add 2 elite points to your pool. So with faith points, you were starting with 4 and getting like effectively, was it 3 a turn? It's ages since I've played Kill Team, hand on heart, but with this you're starting with 10 and getting 2 a turn, but the effect is more variable. So it could be that you get dice, like it matters whether you've missed out, if you've got a roll of 5, if you roll a 4 or a 2, like that matters. So there's a bit more randomness to how quickly you're going to deplete your elite points. I feel like I'd have to play it in person to feel my way around exactly how strong it is because of that level of variance. But certainly, considering the team has, we're going to assume a plasma pistol and a plasma gun. Maybe it's 2 plasma guns. But even if it's just 1 plasma pistol and 1 plasma gun, certainly being able to use your elite points to avoid the gets hot roll of 1 on your plasma weapons, potentially using 2 of them to guarantee a hit, because we assume you're going to be hitting on 3s. So for hits, you're only ever going to be spending between 1 and 2 elite points, right? That's going to be a lot of guaranteed hits. It feels like it's going to be very strong. Looking at this team, looking at the plastic like we did in the last video, I assumed these are going to be spoilers for an upcoming Shower Thoughts video. I'm mulling around this idea of a bags of stats versus bags of tricks, and some teams are bags of stats like intercessors, and some teams are bags of tricks like novitiates, right, where they need their special rules to function. These guys, they've got the ballistic skill, the armor save, the weapon profiles. They've got really good stats, and now they've got what I think is a really good special rule. This is a really good special rule. I mean, and do they retain like anything adjacent to, or have orders totally gone? I mean, hopefully, I guess orders are totally gone. The extra mission action thing is totally gone. Maybe not. Maybe that's all still there. We don't know. But even without that, they look like they're going to be a very top tier team, a disruptive team. 10 models with 4 gunners. We don't know that it's 4 gunners. It might be 2 gunners. But we don't know that it's 10 models. It might be 8 models. Like, we don't know a lot of stuff until we get the full rules. But if it's 10 models with 4 gunners and this rule, that seems quite bonkers. Do I think it... And then some people have been like, oh, we should ban them like they banned Votan and wait for the nerf. It's like, well, they can be strong, but there are other really strong teams out there, Intercessors, Legionaries, Pathfinders. Are they going to be better than all of those teams? But it does look like they're going to be a strong team. It looks like they're going to be a reasonably easy to use team. And yeah, I find the rules pretty compelling. I find the miniatures are obviously gorgeous. They look like they're going to be a solid team. Maybe a bit boring to play with and against, but they look like they'll be a solid team. Hopefully they don't come out to be too dominant, right? And the bogey, we got to have one, right? And the bogeyman of the game. The thing is, if we get these come out and these are the new bogeyman of the game, and everyone's going on about how broken Kasrkin are, it's going to let things like Pathfinders and Intercessors and Legionaries continue to sail on without a nerf because there'll be bigger fish to fry. So we'll see how they come out the door. To be honest, I'm more interested in the Necrons. I feel like we found out more about the Necrons, and I've got quite a lot of text from the article on this page as well. So it says here that the Heretic Circle have 2 skills for which Necrons are particularly infamous. Existing Tomb World players will be familiar with Living Metal, which regenerates 2 lost wounds from each damaged operative during the initiative phase. So that confirms that they're still getting Living Metal. Great. Keeping your deadly immortals, emphasis mine is underlined there, and death marks in tip-top condition. Does this mean that regular immortals is confirmed? Like, I don't know. They could, by immortals, be referring exclusively to the Despotek, and it could be a case of Warcom not really knowing exactly what it is that they're writing about. Like, they're going down their bullet points from the designers, but I want to believe that we're getting regular Immortals troops and they just haven't shown us any, right? I want to believe that we're getting 3 death marks that could be Immortals, like 1 Immortal, 1 death mark, 2 Immortals with different guns and a death mark. I want to believe that's the way it works, but I'm not going to order an extra box of Immortals / death marks until I've seen the full rules. And then it says about reanimation protocols. They're making an appearance, allowing operatives to roll a dice in each ready operative step and rise to their feet on a roll of a 3+. So when you ready your operatives, they can... Now, does that mean that they just stay dead on the table and that they have a chance to rally each time you get to the ready operative step? So they never taken off. They're always there and they can always try and get up on a 3+. That seems pretty good. It also says that they aren't limited to a single, because it used to be that with the tactical ploy, it made it 0 cost, but you could only do 1 reanimation a turn, because you only use each ploy each turn. Do they keep that in addition to these other sources, or are they getting rid of the tactical ploy? They're certainly getting this reanimation beam once per turning point when another friendly Heretic Circle operative would be incapacitated for the first time during the battle. If it's within red of the operative, this operative can use this ability. If it does so, subtract 1 from its APL, and that friendly Heretic Circle operative attempts reanimation. So this gives you a second reanimation. Maybe you'll get 1 stock from your ploy. Will the ploy still be 0 CP or will it be 1 CP? And then you get another source from your reanimator. And I'd imagine there are probably ways to get other sources from at least one of your Cryptex choices. We'll get onto those in a minute. And maybe from your Apprentech as well. Who knows? And then the really exciting bit here, Cryptex come in many shapes and sizes. The Heretic Circle can choose from a Chronomancer, a Psychomancer, or a Technomancer to lead them. Each of these ancient artisans on your roster can then choose Cryptic actions from a list of 3, representing their specific Eldritch scientific skills. So, the Technomancer is the one in the box, which confusingly on the Games Workshop website is just called Cryptech, but is called a Technomancer on the Kill Team page. The Chronomancer is the one from the article. Sorry, that was very unprofessional. The Chronomancer is the one from the article with the sort of squid legs and all these squares. And the Psychomancer I went and looked at is this guy up here. Is the Psychomancer one that's much ado about reanimating more Necrons? I don't know. Certainly, they're going to have a lot of list building. They remind me a little bit of Thousand Suns in that regard, where I really need to do a faction rundown on Thousand Suns, so I know what I'm talking about. But Thousand Suns have a thing where they're sorcerers, which they can take different kinds of sorcerers, and they choose different kinds of sorcerers, and they can then give those sorcerers different abilities. Can they actually choose different kind of sorcerers, or does my friend just say that they're different kinds of sorcerers based on the abilities they have? Whichever it is, they build sorcerers during the list building step, and then they have them on their roster. So in the same way you'd build the, not quite sure when you choose these Cryptek actions, each of them on your roster, so presumably you have to roster them. It's given us 2 of the actions anyway for the Chronomancer. One is Time Splinter. For 1 AP, select one friendly hero text circle operative visible to him within red of the operative until the end of the turning point. That operative has an invulnerable save equal to its modified save characteristic. Seems kind of interesting, useful-ish, situational. Let me just think about something here. If you're rostering these, you've got 20 on your roster, 20 slots. It depends, because we don't know. But I'm thinking you could potentially be rostering, like, loads of different Crypteks to have access to, because it's not a big team. It's an 8-model team at its base. So you could have, surely, you don't have to have models for everything on your roster. So you could, if you wanted, surely roster 2 or 3 different Chronomancers, 2 or 3 different Psychomancers, 2 or 3 different Technomancers. Could you? Because if you're facing an opponent that you know for whatever reason has lots of high AP weapons, maybe you'd want that Time Splinter, so you'd roster that in. And then against other teams it would be less useful, but maybe you wouldn't necessarily want Time Splinter stuck on your one and only Chronomancer. I don't know. And then he's got Counter-Temporal Nanomine. Crypto action. Place one of your Counter-Temporal Nanomine tokens within red of the operative. Each time an enemy operative performs an action in which it moves, if it would move within red of that token, subtract white from the distance it can move during that action. At the start of the next turning point, remove that. I don't care for that. I mean, I'm sure it's strong, but I don't personally care for it. I want to see what the other things are for the other Crypteks. I actually really hope I can use this guy. He turns out to be meta because he's really cool looking. He's like awesome. Look at him. He's like 3D printing a guy. I assume. Let me know if you think we're going to get Immortals as troops. If you let me know before 10 AM tomorrow, British time, then that's actually impressive. If you come after everyone else has read the books and go, turns out we are or aren't getting these things, that's slightly less impressive. Right, let's talk about the pre-orders. So the pre-orders are up if you happen to live in New Zealand, because they're 12 hours ahead. So there aren't no real surprises on the pre-order page, except that the price in New Zealand dollars is $365. I have no idea how much like a hamburger costs in New Zealand, but that's a big number. It seems like a lot. But no real surprises. The Technomancer definitely comes in the set. There was a little bit of speculation because his sprue picture wasn't shown on the previous article that maybe he wasn't going to come in the set and you'd have to buy him separately. There's still people saying that maybe because you can take different Crypteks with the team, when they come to sell them separately eventually, they'll sell the team separately and you'll have to buy your Crypteks separately at full price. That could be true as well. That would be slightly disappointing for Necron players looking for a deal, but disappointing. One other thing I gleaned from the New Zealand, the NZ, the New Zealand website and the pre-orders, is they showed this picture of the playing cards, which we believe are direct only. It's not the cool orange and black artwork that... It's not the cool orange and black artwork that I thought it was going to be, which makes it a little bit of a miss. It looks like that the hearts here, so there's a Krieg guy here on the King of Hearts, there's a Krieg guy here on the Jack of Hearts, and there's an Orc guy here on the Queen of Hearts. And the clubs here, there's an Intercessor, no, a Phobos guy, sorry, on the King of Clubs, and a Bloodied on the Queen of Clubs. And over here, there's what looks to be a Chaos Space Marine on the King of Spades. And I think another Chaos Space Marine on the Jack of Spades. So it seems like the 4 suits are themed. I'm assuming the one we can't see is a Novitiates versus Pathfinders suit. So it seems like the 4 suits are themed around the four boxes, which is a bit meh. To be fair, it's not something I'm going to go out of my way to pre-order from Games Workshop. But if I'm in a Games Workshop and they have them on the counter by the till, you know, if I should happen to pick them up as a random little extra treat for myself, then that could happen. But I'm not zazzed about them because they're not the really cool. I thought it'd be the really cool monochrome orange and black artwork. I thought that would be much cooler. It's the full colour stuff, which is still cool. Sorry, it's late and I've been up since 4:30. Why am I making a video anyway? It's the really cool coloured stuff, but I don't think that's as cool as the orange and black stuff myself. Right, final thoughts. The first thing to say is there's an extra thing, so I did put this in the community tab. This is from next month's White Dwarf, which landed in my house today. It's here. It looks like this. It does have Kill Team Engage on page 92. So the campaign, the White Dwarf campaign, if we've been following along with that, it has that. It has some cardboard inserts that are to do with Age of Sigmar, and on the back page, as you're seeing on your screen, it says, next issue on sale 18th of November with new Into the Dark missions. So it's been put to me that the missions are more useful than a new team because the missions are more widely used, but personally I've not played any of the current Into the Dark missions either yet. Now I admit that I've got special circumstances, but I've not played any of them yet either. And people were hoping for the Votan rules. Votan rules could still come via PDF, right? But looks like we're getting Into the Dark missions. I'm sorry if this video's been a little low energy. It's been a high cognitive load kind of day from multiple converging factors, shall we say. And I have been awake for quite a long time, and then I've drunk a lot of energy drinks, so I had to drive somewhere and do some other stuff. And so now I'm in that kind of thing where I don't quite want to go to bed, but I'm not quite with it. So we'll make a YouTube video. I nearly didn't make this YouTube video, but here it is. Element Games is very, 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 very good, and if you are going to order this anyway, Shadow Vault, I would really appreciate it if you would go into the description. I will even move it into the main body of the description just for this video, so you don't have to click to expand the thingy. And you can, if you order it from Element Games, I will get a little bit back as well, and you'll get it for 88 quid instead of 110, which is, yeah. So yes, I hope you enjoyed the video. And tomorrow, Saturday, release day, there'll be no uploads from me. I kind of like to leave Saturday so that I can go and watch Glass Half Dead and then Can You Roll a Crit and watch their read-throughs and evaluations and all the really cool stuff that they get, because they get preview copies from Games Workshop. And then I don't like to make any videos on that day because I want to get all their release day views, and then I will make some videos based on the information that's then out in the public domain, right? That then they and GMG and all the people that just read through, like, there's actually a lot of, I mentioned those two channels because I subscribe to their content and because they are Kill Team channels. There are actually a load of channels that just get like every Games Workshop release and read it under a powerful camera. But if you're gonna give someone like the 3 hours of view, I would give it to a Kill Team channel, surely. So I will let them get their scoop that they deserve. You know, getting to 10k subscribers is, I'm at 900, so please subscribe. And then Sunday, Monday, I'll start to make my own content based on the now publicly available rule set. Right, that's my own personal little embargo there. All right. So have a great day. Tomorrow, enjoy pre-order day. Wow, it's midnight in 9 minutes, so it's nearly tomorrow today. That's brilliant. Right, see you then. Bye-bye-bye.